Hello everyone, Showtime here with a short video on Cho'gall, the latest addition to the Heroes of the Storm roster. So Cho'gall is from the Warcraft universe. He's a two-headed ogre and he's the Chieftain of the Twilight's Hammer clan. Cho'gall is really unique because two people will be playing one character. You've got one person playing Cho, who is the melee head. He's the bruiser, he's the warrior, the one running around, the one driving Cho'gall. And then you've got Gall, who is riding shotgun. He's the caster head, who is going to be firing off these abilities that deal a good amount of damage, and he's just kind of Cho's bitch. He just follows around. So Cho has some abilities of his own. He has Surging Fists. After a short wind-up, he will charge forward, knocking aside anybody in his path. He has Consuming Blaze, which is an AoE around him that will deal heavy damage over like a 4-second dot, and also heal him for an amount based on target's hit. He has Rune Bomb, which is an exploding bowling ball that will only explode if Gall wills it, the caster head. And he's got some interesting ultis as well. So he can go with the Twilight's Hammer, Hammer of Twilight. So it increases his auto attack damage by 25%, and it also gives him a short-range frontal cone, kind of like Leoric's Q, but it knocks back and it stuns for 0.75 seconds. So this one is it is fairly strong to get in and out of fights or out of a hotspot. But my favorite is Upheaval. So in a huge frontal cone in front of him, he's going to pull everything at high speed towards him and slow them by 25% for 3 seconds. Now it doesn't just pull everything to a location in front of him, like a Stitches hook for example, it just flings everything in his general direction. So often enough you're going to see people flying behind Cho'gall. I think almost 100% of the time that will happen. So it can be pretty good for forcing a team fight against your enemy team. Now Gall, the caster head, who is riding shotgun, has Shadow Flame, that's his Q, and just in a straight line on the mouse cursor, flame will appear and deal some damage. So it's just like a laser. He also has Dread Orb, which is this weird gelatinous bouncing gross that will deal damage on each bounce, and you can adjust the length of the bounce however you please. Runic Blast detonates Cho's Rune Orb, the exploding bowling ball, so it'll detonate it for more damage. And then he has his ultimates. Now his ultimates are actually pretty cool. He has Twisting Nether, which is a channeled AoE around Cho'gall. And after a 1-second delay, it will apply a 40% slow for up to 5 seconds on any enemy that it touches. And then you can detonate for a fair amount of damage, really big damage on everything around you. And then he also has Shadow Bolt Volley. So 20 Shadow Bolts fire off in the direction of the mouse cursor, and they do hit for a fair bit of damage. Now this one can be a little more difficult to work because it pivots very slowly. So let's say you're using it against a Vala that is nearby. If she tumbles behind you as soon as you start it, that's a waste. The ulti's gone. Like it pivots so slowly. But you know, if it looks like a sure kill or like a corridor or something, or you're chasing, in that case it can be pretty good. So just kind of use your judgment there, depending on what ulti Cho's gonna use. I think Hammer of Twilight would work pretty well with Shadow Ball Volley, same as Upheaval with Twisting Nether, right? But that's just my personal opinion. So as far as driving versus playing shotgun, if you're playing Cho, you're running around, you're responsible for the positioning, for the engages, disengages, so it's a pretty big responsibility. But that being said, you also have this huge health pool to play with, so as long as you're not taking too much poke, you can safely enough go in and out of team fights without putting yourself in too much danger. You don't have much peel as a tank except for these low cooldown ultis at your disposal, so be mindful of that, use them, and keep an eye on your team still. As far as playing Gall, you can fire your abilities when Cho is mounted, if Cho is driving the dragon from Dragon Shrine or the Terror. Like, just be spamming those, because you don't have a mana pool, not much of a cooldown, and you can even use them while Cho is mounted. So like, he can just be strafing along a wall, and you can be firing off at stuff on the other side, so that's pretty cool as well. You can poke up into a lane and just throw a Rune Orb or whatever, so be mindful of those abilities and the opportunities that create themselves. But all that being said, I think Cho'gall is actually in a really good place. I've played against teams with a Cho'gall without having one on my own team, and the alternate setup as well, where we had one and the enemy team did not. And it never really felt like either team was at a great disadvantage. I think it's just entirely on how well the Cho'gall is being played, same as any setup. So we'll have to see what players come up with in the coming weeks, because he did only come out a few days ago. But I think he's in a good place. I don't think he's been overtuned. I don't think he's particularly overpowered. As long as you have people playing him that are willing to work together, you're going to be okay. The worst thing, I think, would be if the Cho player would disconnect, because at that point you're riding shotgun to a window licker. Anyway, those are my thoughts on Cho'gall. Thanks for listening, and please like, comment, subscribe, let me know what you'd like to see maybe in the next video. Have a good one, guys.